What's going on, High Society? Welcome back to episode 34, Sordward and Shielbert Spectacular Podcast. It's your commissioner, Ryan, head coach, the Boston Braviaries, joined this week by Chris, a.k.a. Chris Elanius, head coach, the Diamond Desert Dwellers. What's going on, Chris?
How's it going, Ryan? I'm doing good.
Good to have you on, man. Hey, congrats on the 100 subs. That's awesome. Chris just hit 100 subs, so definitely go give him a thumbs up and a shout out for that great milestone. Congrats, Chris.
Really appreciate it.
Awesome.
It's thanks to you and a lot of the society.
Well, we all help each other out, so that's what it's all about. Next up, we got Katie, head coach, the Denver Ninetales. How's it going, Katie?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
Good. Good to have you on another podcast. Happy to see you. And last but not least, Justin, aka, well, what do I call you now? Juggernaut? Is that what I'm going to call you now? No longer the Poke Card collector, or?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think so.
Head coach, the Australia Arboks.
What's going on,
There's
guys?
a little Boston accent on that one. Arboks. But yeah, glad to have you guys on. So last night we had the Season 4 Minors Division Draft. So all 8 Minors teams, well, I shouldn't say they all drafted because I picked for like half of them, but, you know, they got their teams selected. And we're going to take a look at all 8 teams. We're going to kind of like rank them, see which ones we kind of like off the bat. And then we're going to take a look at the schedule for this season real quick. So you guys ready?
Born ready.
Yep.
Jump right into it. So we're going to start with the Worcester Wobbuffets. We'll just go through right here. So the way the minors draft works is instead of like a tier list, it was more like groups that the coaches had to pick from. So there were 2 separate GMAX groups, an offense group, a support group, a trick room group, a weather group, and then a free group. So we'll just kind of go through that. So the GMAX Plus, which is considered the good GMAXs, we got GMAX Rillaboom. Nice pick. Were you guys thinking about, well, we'll get to yours, Chris. You have your own Rillaboom, but I like the versatility of GMAX Rillaboom. Next, we got GMAX Alcremie from the GMAX Minus, Nidoking and Salamence for offensive picks, Incineroar for support, Dusclops and Rhyperior for Trick Room, Tyranitar Excadrill for weather, and Morpeko as their free pick. So, Chris, what do you think of this team?
Well, I think there's some good choices in here. I like the GMAX Rillaboom a lot. I didn't go with it because I was set on a different GMAX, but it is a great Pokemon to have. It's really versatile, like you said. And Incineroar, I really like. It's a great support Pokemon. Like, you know, maybe there's better combinations, but Incineroar, I think, is like universally a pretty good backup. Besides those 2, it looks like there's a lot of like heavy hitters. So I think there's some good defense among it, though. But it looks like a good team to me.
Yeah, for sure. I think kind of, well, I'll let Justin say his piece about the team first. Justin, what do you think about the Wobbuffets?
I like Nidoking. Nidoking was actually going to be one of my. I was thinking about getting him, but you'd sort of picked him before. GMAX Rillaboom, I'm pretty sure Cole used him last season, and he did pretty well in singles. I don't know what he's like in doubles, but he seemed to do pretty well in singles. Yeah. So I think it's definitely a real good GMAX pick. Yeah, and like Chris said, it's a very tough looking team. A lot of good offensive players there.
This team mirrors my own in a little way with the Tyranitar and Excadrill.
Yeah, the Sand Core.
Yeah, and Morpeko is always a really awesome pick too. A lot of versatility with Morpeko.
Yeah, Morpeko can be a good support option as well. gets fake out, nuzzle, parting shot. So kind of like a electric Incineroar without the, you know, ability that comes with Intimidate. Couple key things here. He does have an option for double Intimidate here with Salamence and Incineroar. So if he really wants to shut down physical attackers, that is something he can do. I like Salamence, can set up Tailwind, can also be pretty offensive, and as I said, Intimidate, or it can also go Moxie. If I'm looking at weaknesses here, I do see a lot of shared kind of weaknesses like water. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, kind of key Pokemon all weak to water. I mean, Rillaboom will carry a lot against that, but still. Also fighting, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and more Pico, so 5 weak to fighting as well. So, you know, just something to kind of think about there. Salamence and Alcremie can help you against the fighting. Salamence gets like Air Slash and Hurricane, so you can do some stuff. But those are just a couple types that I think George and the Wobbuffet should watch out for. And maybe if they're looking for some trades or some stuff down the road to like kind of shore up those weaknesses there. But overall, solid team. Again, I like the Weather Core. Incineroar, like you said, Chris, is just a universally good pick. Kind of same thing as Rillaboom is just universally good. So I definitely like his options. Moving to the other side of the world, Southside Slow Kings. We got Gmax Lapras, Gmax Sandaconda as their 2 Gmax picks, Dracozolt and Metagross for offense, Whimsicott for support, the trademark Slow King and Aggron for Trick Room, Politoed Kingdra, very strong Rain Core for weather, and then Manectric as their free pick. So, Justin, what do you think about your fellow Aussie?
So if I didn't have a set strat in mind, I wanted Politoed, but he didn't fit in with what I wanted to do. But I like this. I like his 2 Gmax picks. His 2 weather Pokemon are great as well. Hopefully he can get it like a good strat. Not good enough that he's going to beat me, but we'll see how he goes.
There you go. You want him to be good, but not as good as you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Chris, what are your thoughts looking at the Slow Kings here?
Well, this is one of those teams, like we were talking about earlier, that got a few of my choices. I really like the Whimsicott as support. I think that's a great choice. I was going for that. I was also going to take the Politoed. He's a great weather setter, obviously, but also if you play it right, at least I would say in singles, he's good on his own if you're cautious with him.
Yeah.
And Lapras is a little bit of a tank, but I haven't seen Gmax Lapras in action, so I can't really speak on that.
Yeah, that's basically how Gmax Lapras operates too, is it's super tanky and bulky. So you kind of need like support to make it good, and Whimsicott is a very good support with it. Tailwind and Helping Hand, so increased speed, increased power. Katie, anything you want to point out on the team that you like or that you're thinking about?
Yeah, Gmax Lapras is always, like you said, it's a tank, and that's always a great pick. I'm not a huge fan of Gmax Sandaconda, and I don't know if it's adding a whole lot to his team. But in and of itself, we'll see what strategies he comes up with.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say what he would think because he didn't pick this team. My thought was, you do have a couple electric weaknesses, so having a ground type, I mean, Manectric can run Lightning Rod, which is great, and then you got 4 times resist with Dracozolt. But I thought having some sort of ground type to, kind of prepare against people bringing an electric type against you, or electric types against you, depending on the team.
Yeah, it definitely has a good spread in this team, I think.
Yeah.
Versatility here.
I definitely think Whimsicott's kind of like the linchpin of this team. I think Whimsicott's going to have to do a lot of work. Tailwind's going to be real key here. You can do like a Tailwind beat up sort of thing with Metagross. I only say beat up because that's the only thing that can like proc a weakness policy for Metagross, which is good under Tailwind. Obviously Politoed Kingdra is strong. Lapras will be good. So I think he has some stuff. I don't know if Aggron's the best Trick Room with Slowking, but you know, he could also kind of operate Metagross as a Trick Room user if he wanted to breed it that way. So he has some options there. Moving on to the Slateport City Sableyes. Their G-Max picks are G-Max Hatterene and G-Max Corviknight. They have a great combo of Pincurchin and Alolan Raichu for their offense, Gastrodon for support, Golisopod Runerigus for Trick Room, Barraskewda Ludicolo for weather, and Dhelmise as their free pick. So, Katie, what are your thoughts on the Slateport here?
This is an awesome team, actually. Just looking at the spread, I think that people are going to have a hard time going up against her. She likes Dhelmise, doesn't? Hasn't she picked Dhelmise in the past, too?
Dhelmise is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good pick. Chris, what do you think?
Well, like she said, there's a lot of good things going on with this team. I mean, Barraskewda is a really good choice for weather. I've heard great things about Dhelmise. And then I like both G-Max choices a lot. Mm. And I just like that there's so much like typing over this. It's not one thing. It just looks like it's going to be a lot of like really good synergy that we're going to have to work around. And I guess what I'm really worried about is probably the number of different strategies that this team will have.
Justin, what do you think looking at the Slateport Sableyes?
Yeah, I got to agree with Chris and Katie. Just looking at it, like you've got to try and come up with a lot of different ways around possible strategies that she could come up with. So I definitely think, and like she's been in the society for a bit now, so she's, you know, definitely going to get more experience over time. So definitely a team to be worried about looking at it.
Yeah, for sure. So when I look at this, I mean, obviously I see the Pincurchin Alolan Raichu is like the key kind of combo here. You know, Pincurchin allows you to set up electric terrain, and then Alolan Raichu's ability doubles its speed in electric terrain. You can get rising voltage onto both of these Pokemon, so now you're getting huge damage off. So then it makes you want to be like, well, I want to bring a ground type, and then she's got 5 Pokemon that are strong against ground when you look at her 4 water types and 2 grass types. So it you know, it's kind of like this duality sort of thing. Like, how do you play around it? Because other than maybe like a lightning rod user, or if you have Volt Absorb, you can kind of do it. But I mean, rising voltage does so much if you can't like absorb it or be immune to it. Looking for, I mean, if I'm picking on weaknesses, there's, even though she has like a lot of water types, their secondary typings kind of cancel out some of their weaknesses. So like Golisopod, the bug will resist the grass, and Gastrodon, of course, is immune to the electric. Ludicolo resists the electric. So there's definitely, you know, they kind of cover each other. I guess if I'm grasping at straws, I would like something to set up rain so that you can kind of have like this Swift Swim angle. Pincurchin can learn Rain Dance, but again, I don't think, like, if you're leading this, you just want to be clicking Rising Voltage as much as you can. So maybe there's another option for something to set up rain, but I don't know, maybe there's like another G-Max pick that can set up rain. Like you lead that, set up the rain, and then when that dies, you can bring in your Swift Swim users to keep up the pressure. That's just something to think about in the future. But overall, like, very scary combo here, and then solid like support all around it. So I like it. I hope the Vaughn does well this season for sure. All right, going on to Godna Gyarados. We got G-Max Charizard, which was the #1 pick taken in the draft. G-Max Dreadnought, Galarian Darmanitan, and the namesake Gyarados as your offensive picks. Indeedee Female for support, Hatterene and Cursula for Trick Room, Ninetales and Leafeon for weather, and Seismitoad as the 3 pick. So, Chris, what do you think about the Gyarados?
Oh, I thought you meant Gyarados just in the team.
Oh, yeah. What do you think just about this one Pokemon? Analyze Gyarados for me, Chris. Just the one Pokemon.
Well, I do like this team. I mean, you can kind of do a lot with G-Max Charizard. But really what I'm interested to see in action is the Galarian Darmanitan, the Hatterene, and the Seismitoad. I think those will make for an interesting couple of battles, you know?
Justin, what do you think about Godna?
Yeah, I'm with Chris. Darmanitan did a lot of work for the Nidokings last season, and his 2 G-Max picks are good. And his son plays as well. Is that right?
Yeah, Jake is the coach of the LA Kinglers.
So I he might have got a little bit of help sort of constructing a team and a strategy as well, or he might just be experienced. Either way, I'm excited to see what he's going to do with this team. It looks like a pretty good team.
Katie, anything you want to add about the Godna Gyarados that you see?
He's got a really good spread for typing, which I think will be difficult for people because this is one of the teams where you're not going to be entirely sure what he's going to be bringing. And I think having Ninetales there to set up the sun and kind of give his Charizard a boost is going to help him a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because, yeah, Ninetales Charizard, solar power being Charizard's hidden ability, on top of being a G-Max, very, very strong. Leafeon, too, as a physical sweeper to go along with the sun, so kind of go either way there. Another key combo I like is Indeedee Hatterene. This is a very strong lead. Indeedee can set up the Psychic Terrain with Psychic Surge, and then you can either follow me or Helping Hand with Indeedee, and Hatterene can click Expanding Force, boosted by the Psychic Terrain, which is very powerful. So you can usually get a couple of those off. If they don't have any dark types or strong steel types, they won't be able to resist that. Chris, as far as you were saying with Darmanitan, it is definitely a lot different in doubles, just because, yeah, you might kill something, but you're gonna die on the way back anyway.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, so it does need some support to kind of get going. Again, its ability, Guerrilla Tactics, means you're basically always going to Choice Scarf it. There's really, I don't think that you would put any other item on, maybe a Focus Sash, but...
Does that have a dual typing, or is it just ice?
No, it's pure ice.
Oh.
Yeah, but it gets a lot of move coverage. Rock Slide is a big one for doubles anyway. But whatever move you click, you're locked into, so...
Well, we might end up seeing that more late game with this team then.
Yeah.
It might be one of their closers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when they're weakened a little bit, click some Rock Slides. Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm going to see what they do with the Cursula. And I think Seismitoad is good. It gets Storm Drain, so it can protect Ninetales and Charizard from water attacks. So it's a good thing to kind of you leave Ninetales Charizard, and if they have a strong water type, you can swap out Ninetales into Seismitoad to bait the Storm Drain attack. And Gyarados is pretty solid too. It can either just be support with Intimidate, or it can be a back end sweeper with Moxie. So he definitely has a lot going on. I like this team. Next up, we got the Florida Feraligators. G-Max Colossal and G-Max Appleton are their G-Max picks. Rotom Wash and Dragapult for offense. Amoonguss for support. Porygon 2 and a Escavalier for Trick Room. Torkoal Venusaur as their weather pairing. And then Tauros for the free pick. So, Katie, what do you think about the Feraligatrs?
Well, I had a Sun team last season too, so the Torkoal Venusaur was an awesome combo to have. Definitely hard hitting. And Porygon too, that thing is a tank and can be really, really difficult to play around. So I think that they have a pretty solid team, and the Escavalier too can be a very difficult Pokemon to play around. Dragapult, picked him a good one.
Yeah, Chris, what do you think about the Feraligatrs?
Well, like we were talking about with the Majors League, I don't know so much about Torkoal, but since we talked about it last, I think that's a great weather choice. I know Amoonguss is surprisingly good, and it seems like everybody's talking about Porygon. I got to back that up. I think that's a really good choice as well. But I'm just really interested to see how the Torkoal plays out. So I guess that's what I'm looking forward to with this team.
Justin, what are your thoughts on Florida's team here?
I like it. I like the Sun team. I like the weather setters. A lot like Katie said, that worked really well for her last season. So I think it's a solid looking team. Can't wait to see what they can do, especially Porygon. Porygon's scary. So another team to be worried about.
Yeah, I mean, this team's pretty solid. So I'll just kind of go from what you guys were talking about first. So you're looking at Torkoal Venusaur. Torkoal's definitely the best sun setter that we have right now. I mean, Groudon isn't available. So a lot of good support options. Also has a very high special attack, so you can do stuff like Heat Wave, Eruption, Earth Power, gets Yawn. Venusaur is really good too because with Chlorophyll, and it gets Sleep Powder, so you can get fast sleeps off early paired with Torkoal. And then, of course, in the sun, you can hit Solar Beams, Sludge Bombs, different stuff. Porygon's probably like the second best Trick Room user right now. As Katie mentioned, it's very bulky. The only one probably better is Dusclops, and that's more so due to it can't be like faked out due to its ghost typing. Escavalier is a solid Trick Room like attacker. It only has one weakness in fire, which is a 4x weakness, so it can usually survive some hits. Amoonguss is great. Rage Powder for redirection, Spore for sleeping. Usually you get Sludge Bomb or Clear Smog. It's great against Dynamaxes. Tauros is kind of like, it can learn Intimidate, or it gets Intimidate as an ability, so it's an Intimidate user. It gets a lot of good coverage moves. You can run it physical or special, actually. And this is kind of like the key combo of the team right here. So G-Max Colossal, you can put a weakness policy on it, and its ability Steam Engine, when it gets hit by a water or fire attack, it gets +6 speed, so it maxes out its speed right away. And Dragapult can learn Surf, so usually what you do is Dragapult's like the fastest thing in the game with the legendaries all banned, so you can do Surf, proc your own weakness policy, get your own Steam Engine, and then kind of go to town with Colossal after that. And then Dragapult can be run either offensively or defensively. It can learn Screens, Ally Switch. Breaking Swipe is a good support attack, lowering your opponent's attack stat as well. Or like I said, you can run offensive with like Phantom Force, Dragon Darts. But Colossal gets a very strong G-Max Vocalith attack, which sets up hazards on the other side that deal 1/6 damage over the course of 4 turns. So in doubles, that's actually a third damage because you're doing 1/6 to 2 Pokemon over 4 turns. So it's basically killing 1 1/3 Pokemon if they take all 4 turns of that Vocalith damage. you know, if you kind of like look at that fraction there. So this is definitely like a scary lead. So you're gonna want like a water or ground attack, because those are the 4 times attacks that can take out Colossal pretty early. All right, Chris, we got your team, the Diamond Desert Dwellers. So I'll let you kind of run through it, Chris. Introduce us to your team here.
Well, well, this is not exactly how I planned on it being. I mean, I was gonna do G-Max Blastoise. Unfortunately, I lost that. I do like Inteleon a lot, though. I forget what his special ability is when he's G-Max, but with the right setup, it for a lot, it's like a one hit. I do really like the Toxtricity, and I think there's some things like I have to kind of check out with that. I still wanted to bring Blastoise in because I have a good one, and he's not like a Lapras, obviously, but he's kind of bulky as well. And I guess it kind of keeps on theme. I have a lot of like water ice in here. The Rillaboom I thought was a good choice. I didn't want it as my G-Max though, so I wanted the support of that on the team. And Lickilicky was a funny one because I wasn't when I was building my team, I thought about adding that, and I vetoed it. Right, it wasn't even on my list of backups. But then you helped me figure out like what kind of things to consider, and I think that's going to be a good addition. I'm worried kind of about the Gothitelle and the Drampa, but I think if I play it right, the Drampa could be pretty useful. And then I love Alolan Ninetales with Aurora Veil. So great.
Yeah, for sure. And don't forget your support there, Togekiss. Very good support Pokemon.
Yeah, I think the problem with it, or that it just might be my fault as a coach. I just have to make sure I play it right, because I will probably like see something that's a little obvious and take like a route that seems good but not the best route. I just feel like that's a problem I'm gonna have, is like not choosing the best option at the time in game. So, but Togekiss is good. He's a good support and can be used in a lot of ways. So
yeah, for sure. So Justin, what do you think about Chris's team here? You can drop him down hard, you know.
I can't actually. I really like his team. If I didn't pick the G-Max Plus that I did, I was going to pick Inteleon because he was my starter in Sword and absolutely loved him. I like Toxtricity. Blastoise is obviously I'm a big fan of his. Rillaboom, Togekiss, like amazing picks. So like I can't wait to see what Chris does with this team. I'm worried about it, to be honest with you, just looking at it, and I can't wait to see the strat that he develops throughout this season. I'm really excited.
Katie, what are your thoughts on the Desert Dwellers?
I mean, we all know I love Alolan Ninetales, and that Aurora Veil is definitely
absolutely
contend with. I think Toxapex is actually a really good pick. That's one of those Pokemon you can kind of leave in the background that might surprise some teams. Toxapex can definitely serve you well depending on who you're going up against. And G-Max Toxtricity is a really solid pick as well. Drampa, I don't know about Drampa so much, but I think you could get some use out of him.
Yeah, so Chris, just to answer your earlier question about G-Max Inteleon, so it's G-Max Hydro Snipe. It basically gets a extra attack boost, so instead of like 130 or 140 power, it's more like 160, 170 power, and it basically works as Mold Breaker, so it ignores all of your opponent's abilities. So earlier when I talked about like the Gardner Gyarados leading with Charizard and then switching a Seismitoad to get a Storm Drain off to bait water attacks, your Hydro Snipe would ignore the Storm Drain and still hit Charizard. So that's kind of like what that does. So it's a stronger attack and ignores abilities. I like Toxtricity as your backup G-Max. I probably think it's the best G-Max of the G-Max minus, so I like that as your kind of backup. Blastoise, like you kind of mentioned, can do a lot. It can learn some good support moves like Fake Out and Helping Hand, and then it can also, you know, be an attacker with Shell Smash, you know, Hydro Pump, Water Spout. So you can definitely do a lot with that. Rillaboom's just great Pokemon. Same thing with Togekiss. It can do so much. Follow Me, of course, Helping Hand, Tailwind, Dazzling Gleam. A lot of good options there. Gothitelle is interesting. Its ability Shadow Tag, so non-ghost types can't switch out, which is a very powerful ability. Being able to kind of guarantee that if you have something that can kill something, you're going to kill it. You don't have to worry about any random switch-ins or anything. I definitely agree that I think you could do better than Drampa, but it's still a good Pokemon. Like, you can definitely make it work, and it kind of has like that benefit of Dragon Normal that you get all these great coverage options with it. You know, you get Fire, Electric, like all these different type of attacks, so you can kind of bring whatever you need. Ninetales, of course, we already mentioned Roarveil. I kind of said to go Licky Licky as like an anti-weather pick, since you weren't really relying on Ninetales to have Hail Up other than to get the Aurora Veil on the first turn. So I think Licky Licky fits very well in your team, being able to deny other teams' strategies. And then I'll be interested to see if you end up doing anything with Toxapex. Toxapex isn't used a lot in doubles compared to singles, mostly because it doesn't have quite the damage output that you would want for doubles. But I definitely think you can do some stuff with it. So I'm interested to see what you make with it.
Thank you.
Going on to Daytona Colossals. We got G-Max, Snorlax, and Machamp as their G-Max picks. For offense, we got Blaziken and Lucario, Grimmsnarl for support, Bronzong, Marowak for Trick Room, Aurorus, Frostmoth for weather, and then Xatu as their free pick. Justin, what do you think about Joe's team here?
I like his team. I think how much of it, because he sent you through a list. Did he get most of his list on his team?
So Blaziken, Lucario, Grimmsnarl, Alolan Marowak, Frostmoth, and Xatu were all on his list. So he got a good majority of them. And he had regular Machamp, but it was taken, so I took G-Max Machamp. Yeah,
and Joe's very knowledgeable. Like, he plays the video game a lot, so I definitely think he went in with a strategy in mind. So I definitely think he's put together a good team, and his two G-Max picks look pretty good too. So definitely think Joe's going to do well this season.
Yeah, Katie, what do you think about the Colossals?
I think, I'm looking at the team, and there's really nothing here that I don't like. I probably would see the Xatu seeing the least amount of play time. Lucario is an awesome pick. Grimmsnarl is great coverage. Frostmoth is a really good ice team Pokemon to have too. He's got a lot of versatility here.
Chris, what do you think? Any additional thoughts?
Well, I might be wrong, but I don't know about Blaziken being in. I feel like that's a little bit classy. But at the same time, Blaziken is powerful, so I mean, you could use it the right way, I think. I like the Lucario a lot better for the offensive tier, but I might be missing a strat there. I could be completely off base. I think the G-Max Machamp was a good choice, though. I do like that.
Yeah, So, looking at his team here, I mean, I went off of his list and then I had to pick a couple other stuff just because, you know, some stuff was taken later. Kind of looking at, I think Grimmsnarl is really key for his team. Prankster, being able to get up screens to increase his bulk. I agree with you, Chris. Blaziken is a pretty glass cannon. I'm not really sure what it can do in doubles, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong. I think Bronzong and Marowak are a good Trick Room core. Marowak can do a lot of stuff. With Thick Club, its attack stat is very high, so you can definitely do a lot of damage with Marowak here. Frostmouth Aurorus, I mean, it's a combo, but I've never really been a fan of hail teams. It's definitely like the weakest out of all the weather strats.
Hey, I did well with the hail team.
You got rid of the hail team, like.
No, I kept 2 or 3 of them. Thank you.
You kept Ninetales. That's not a hail team.
Stop it.
Anyway, so I think if I'm looking at like a general strategy here, I like Grimmsnarl Snorlax, setting up like a screen, and depending what your opponent leads, this might be super greedy, but trying to get a belly drum off with Snorlax, that's probably super greedy. You could also do fake out with Grimmsnarl and try and get a belly drum off, so you're only taking like 1 hit on the Snorlax, depending on what they have. Like fake out their physical attacker, so you're only taking special damage, and then Dynamax after that and set up a screen might be a better option. I feel like he has a lot of Pokemon that I would like to see get set up, but his support option doesn't have redirection, which makes it a little harder to kind of guarantee that setup. But I think he does have a good Trick Room option in the back. It's just how much weight can his G-Max picks kind of like take him. All right, last but not least, the Australia Arboks. Justin, walk us through your team here.
So I got everything that I wanted. I didn't really have a free pick in mind, so I just thought I'd pick Pikachu. I'm really, really happy with my G-Max Plus pick and my 2 offensive players. Clefairy I'm happy with as a support, and Golduck as a to get rid of weather. So I'm pretty happy with my team. I don't know. It's a bit hard. I was sort of wanting a specific strat within another strat, and I'll work around it. Like I've built my team in the game, and I'm slowly starting to play around with it. So I'm excited to see how I do. It's going to be a lot of fun for me to play with these Pokemon, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Chris, what do you think about the Arboks?
Well, I really like their choice for their G-Max Plus. That's pretty nice.
Let it go, Chris. Let it go.
No, but it does look like a good team here. I really like the Wigglytuff and Clefable families. So seeing a little bit of that in here is really good. Unfortunately, I'm not very knowledgeable about G-Max Butterfree, but judging on what I do know, I think that's a really versatile Pokemon. You can kind of do a lot with it, and like you said before, it doesn't necessarily have to be G-Max to be useful. So, I mean, there's a couple things you could do with this team, and you can get really creative and put some good stuff in. So I'm excited to see this in action, and although I did want that Blastoise, I think Justin can use it way more effectively than I can. So it'll be great to see in action.
Katie, what do you think about Australia's team here?
I mean, Blastoise is just a pure powerhouse tank, so that's always that's a great Gmax plus pick. Butterfree is fragile, but that could just totally screw up your opponent's entire strategy. So if you play it right and keep it alive, it could just status effect upon status effect. So it could be awesome. Clefairy is an awesome support Pokemon too, so it's a really good addition to your team and should serve you well. Why Pikachu?
I don't know.
Pikachu has its place on this team. Don't worry.
Is it massive?
I hope so.
It does.
Pikachu is actually my most disliked Pokemon in Pokemon.
Disliked Pokemon?
He just hates how popular it is.
I know. It's
yeah.
So
it's not edgy enough.
Too mainstream.
Caterpie should have been Ash's #1 Pokemon. Oh.
Let's do it. No, I don't know much about Golduck and how well or not well he does. So that's the one Pokemon I'm not entirely familiar with. But yeah, I think all around you got a lot of good stuff you can do. It'd be kind of cool if you bring out Blastoise and Charizard at the same time. Just give everybody some
trouble.
Back to the good old days when there was only 150.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You have all originals, don't you? You do.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
He doesn't like any other generations.
Was that on purpose?
Absolutely.
It's the only ones he knows. All right, so yeah, looking at this team, there's definitely a lot that we can do here. Obviously, the most powerful lead here is Gmax Blastoise Clefairy. If you're not facing down like an obvious fake out user, it's a free follow me with a Shell Smash, and then Blastoise can just do so much damage after that. Clefairy is a great support type Pokemon with, again, I just mentioned Follow Me, Helping Hand. Its ability Friend Guard reduces all damage that its allies take by 25%, so it helps your teammates live a lot longer, which is great. So it usually, even if you're not Follow Meing, sometimes the opponent will just focus down Clefairy anyway, just to because they know that their attacks against your other Pokemon won't be doing as much damage. I definitely think Clefairy is going to have to pull a lot of weight here, especially with your offensive picks. Alakazam and Machamp are both really strong, but they are also somewhat fragile. Machamp has some bulk, like he's not horrible bulk-wise, but I wouldn't call him defensive. Charizard's a good pick. It learns a lot of different moves and can do a lot of things. Weak to rock and electric. Is that all it's weak to?
Water.
And water, yeah. But I was trying to think, like, basically the Blastoise kind of covers all that. And this is where the Pikachu kind of goes into. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things weak to electric. Pikachu can get the ability Lightning Rod, which redirects all the electric attacks to Pikachu and gives it a +1 special attack increase instead of taking damage. So that's a very good thing. So you'll definitely want to get a Pikachu with Lightning Rod, Justin. For this
there you go. There you go, Katie. That's why I picked Pikachu. I just didn't know.
It's actually a good support type. It can, it has what, base 90 speed, so it's not slow, you know. Like, you would like it to be over 100, but it's still faster than most things. Fake Out, it can learn. It can learn Helping Hand. It can learn Nuzzle, which can paralyze. It can learn... Dang it. I had all these moves. It can learn the screens, so if you want to set up screens with it. So it's a very good support option, and again, it's going to protect all these electric weak Pokemon from getting hit with Thunders, Thunderbolts, etc. The only key weakness I see in your team is your Trick Room core. I definitely think you could probably find something stronger than Wigglytuff. Like, Slowbro's fine as a Trick Room setter, and it can also kind of operate in Trick Room as an attacker. But Wigglytuff can probably be swapped out for something a little stronger down the road. But depending how you want to use it.
Sure.
All right. So now that we looked over all that, are you guys ready?
You know you're not allowed to trade for other generations now, right? You're the nostalgia team.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's completely fine.
Pikachu was a pretty good random choice considering all of what Ryan just said.
Yeah. No, Pikachu's good.
Totally random choice.
I mean, Raichu's better, but Pikachu's good. All right, so we got our 8 minor league teams down here, and we got S, A, B, and C. So we gotta kind of grasp at straws. Chris knows what to do here. We gotta grasp at straws and kind of rank people. So Katie will be our tiebreakers. I'm not gonna say anything other than, you guys can ask me what was on that team or whatever. So Chris and Justin, you guys are gonna decide, and if you're both not in agreement, Katie's gonna be the tiebreaker. Okay?
Well, should this one just be me and Katie since it's Australia Arboks?
No. Let him. He just heard what I had to say, what we all had to say about his team, so, and all the others. So I think he kind of can figure where he's at. So, okay, Justin, where would you put yourself?
I'm gonna be maybe a little bit modest. I'm gonna say like.
Okay, I'll do it.
I'd say A.
G2. Okay.
No, I'm good. Okay, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say like B or A. I don't want to aim for the sky yet and oversell myself.
What do you think, Chris?
I was gonna say A. I think he's got some good teams. Like you said, there's some very small things to overcome, but depending on the strategy, it might not matter. So while it's not foolproof, it's definitely like a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I think. We kind of saw it, even though it was singles. We saw it last season with Matt in Minnesota. GMAX Blastoise just did so much work. I think, especially early on, while people are still trying to figure out your team, you're going to be able to kind of run through some stuff.
I think the Blastoise alone sticks you in the A tier.
I don't know about alone. Like, don't just bring Blastoise against.
That's it. No other Pokemon, just Blastoise.
Challenge accepted.
All right. Next, we got the Slateport City Sableye. So they had GMAX Hatterene, GMAX Corviknight. They had the Pincurchin, Alolan Raichu core, Barraskewda, Ludicolo, Runerigus, Golisopod, Delmise. What do you think, Chris?
I'm having a hard time and I'm not just trying to throw these out there, but I'm having a hard time deciding between the top two, S and A, because I do like a lot of the choices, and I think Delmise is a good one to have on the team. I think it'll surprise a lot, but I don't know which one of those I fall in.
What do you think, Justin?
I was going to say S.
Okay, S.
Yeah,
I definitely think, like I said, you're gonna want some ground types, but then she's got those water and grass types, so it can definitely be pretty scary. But hey, you got Pikachu, Justin, so you'll be fine against her.
That's right.
All right, the Worcester Wobbuffets. So we had GMAX Rillaboom. I don't remember what was on their team. They had Incineroar as their support pick. I think they had Rhyperior for Trick Room, Dusclops for Trick Room. They had Tyranitar Excadrill.
Oh yeah, my only problem with this team was that I kind of thought it was like too powerful, but I don't know the Pokemon's like crazy well. So, assuming that I'm wrong, it might be more S tier. But if I'm right on that, it'd probably be like a low A. Maybe.
So you're just saying they might not have like enough bulk?
Well, because they had a lot of like heavy. Because I think
It's too much bulk, right?
yeah,
And
I think
enough of
Dusclops
other
is a little
strategies.
glassy. It has a place, but it's glassy. And then they've got Rhyperior, and then they've got Tyranitar. So I just think there's a lot of powerhouses, and I'm not sure if it. I don't know the team well enough to know if it's a good balance or not. You know.
What do you think, Justin?
I'm with Chris. I don't know a lot of them to sort of make the call, but Gmax Rillaboom is definitely something to look out for. I'm sort of leaning maybe towards an A as well.
Yeah, because I like the Rillaboom and the Incineroar. I do like those.
All right, Katie, what do you think? You gotta kind of be the.
I would
Oh,
say,
they both said A, right?
yeah,
yeah.
they both said A.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Daytona Colossal. We had Snorlax and Machamp as your Gmax picks. They had Blaziken, Lucario, Bronzong, and what was their Trick Room attacker? Can't remember what their Trick Room attacker was, but it was Bronzong was their setter. I can go with. Oh yeah, a little Marowak. They had Aurora's Frostmoth. So what do you guys think of Daytona?
I'm liking maybe A or B. B is probably being maybe a bit harsh.
Don't be
But-
afraid to be harsh.
Oh, I just like I know Joe, and I know he knows the game as well, so he might come out with something completely left of field that none of us are expecting and wipe the floor with us. So I'm gonna say A.
You can't put
That's what I
everybody in A.
I can. I put Sableye in S.
I was
Chris, what
almost
do you
gonna
think?
say C. So we're
Hey, Katie, what do you think? Wait, Chris, wait, you're saying C?
yeah.
Katie, what do you think?
I mean, I can definitely see C. I would say probably put them in a B to meet them in the middle. They do have, they have the foundation of their team, and I think once they play their first couple of games and make a couple trades, I don't think it'll take them long to flesh it out. But the foundation is there, so.
All right, Chris,
S.
where are we putting you?
S. Absolute.
All right, Justin, what do you think about Diamond Desert?
I think we need to create another tier. What's the lower?
Oh, one above S? S.
No.
Yeah. Just put legendary. No, can we call it mythical?
I'm like an S.
Although, like, in all honesty, I don't know if S is appropriate. I think I got some good mons in there. I do.
Yeah, you got Inteleon, you got Toxtricity, which is good. You got Rillaboom, which is good. What was your other offense?
Rillaboom.
Blastoise, Togekiss is really good.
I had Toxapex. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have a dangerous team. You could definitely, I could see you being S tier.
All right. Well, like I said, so as long as I draft right or pick right when I'm going up and against an opponent, I think my problems are going to be if I throw Gothitelle in or Drampa in at the wrong time. So I think those are the problems that I might encounter. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean that comes with playing the game. Trick Room lives up to its name. It can be tricky to know when is the opportune time to kind of use it, and you know, all that stuff. But you could also use Gothitelle can learn Imprison as well, so it can be an anti-Trick Room Pokemon. Using Imprison so your opponents can't use Trick Room against you. So that's something to think about as well. Alright, the Florida Feraligators. This was... Huh?
I was just about to say, who's in their team?
They had Gmax Colossal, Dragapult, Rotom Wash, Porygon 2, Torkoal, Venusaur.
I think this is a... Sorry. I think this is a pretty dangerous team as well.
Absolutely.
The way you guys putting them, and
I'm not familiar enough with a lot of them to sort of, like, on paper they look good. I don't know, maybe A or S I'm looking at.
I'm trying to
I don't
find
think
it.
it's
Put him down
I
there.
think S is appropriate. I think I'm leaning more towards S because I think they've got a lot of combos they can go towards, and I really like the. I mean, Torkoal Venusaur sounds good. I like a lot of their choices.
all right, what do you think, Katie?
I think they're the highest S.
ooh,
And I gotta be honest, I think Diamond Desert should be probably an A. Or...
Right, they both said S, Katie. You can't say that now.
We can bring me down a peg. I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it?
If anything else, we can associate it to the inexperienced coach.
All right, next up we got the Gardner Gyarados. So this was Gmax Charizard. They had Ninetales and Leafeon, so they kind of got that Sun Core there. Can't remember who else they had for offensive Pokemon. Oh, Darmanitan, Gyarados, and Didi Hatterene. What do you think, Chris?
I feel like the way you had the tier list set up kind of made it so everybody has a good core, at least. So it's almost hard to rank these because
Don't make excuses. You gotta make tough decisions. Besides, after you guys do it, I'm gonna do it how it's supposed to be anyway.
Can we see their team again?
Yeah.
All right. I don't think it's flawless, but I think it's an A, to be honest.
What do you think, Justin?
yeah, I'm with Chris. I think it's an A.
All right, and last but not least, we got the Slow Kings
I love their logo.
hanging out on the throne. So this is their team right here: Lapras, Dracozolt, Metagross, Whimsicott, Slowking, Aggron, Polychoke, Kingdra, Manectric. Justin, where do you want the Slow Kings?
Where do I want him, or where does he belong?
Okay, where does he belong?
I think I'm maybe leaning towards B. For the moment, that's what I think. I mean, he does have Gmax Lapras is good. His Weather Setter and Abuser are real good too. It'll just be interesting to see how he puts it all together into a nice package. So I'm saying B for now. That's what I think.
What do you think, Chris?
I think we need a tiebreaker. I think I was leaning more towards A. I liked a lot of that team.
All right, Katie, you're the tiebreaker.
I was also thinking B.
Right.
I think that they have a solid foundation, but I think that there's a few trades they could make to flesh their team out more. You could just see all over Ryan's face. He thinks this tier is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into it, but I'm like,
Get
Well,
into
That's
it.
okay. That's
Do
okay.
it.
do it, right? I
Do
want to
it.
see.
This is
I want to
Yeah,
see
we
what
want
you
to
think
see.
of
Well,
it.
how would you tier
Yeah.
this team?
How
You're the
would I
one who.
tier it?
Yes. How would you
Yeah.
tier it?
All right.
You're asking three
How
people
would
who
I
don't know what they're
tier it?
doing.
Mr. Commissioner.
All right. Don't take any of this personally, because as
You wouldn't
Pete
let me go
said,
to the minors.
everything's kind of compacted, so you're grasping at straws here. But maybe it's my own fault for the picks I did for stuff that was on his list. But I would put Daytona down in C.
I think that's what I said.
Again, I gotta like break up these A's here.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, there's too many A's.
yeah, I actually really like Worcester, and I'm gonna drop Slateport down.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think Worcester has so much they can do. Like I think you guys are really underestimating them. Like Incineroar is the #1 used Pokemon in the game due to everything it can do. It's just it's just amazing Pokemon. Rillaboom is also great as a G-Max. It's very powerful as well. Nidoking, Sheer Force Life Orb. I would just throw a Choice Scarf on this, or if you can get Tailwind up, it's great too. Dusclops is the best Trick Room setter in the game. It's very bulky. It can stay alive super long. You get stuff like Pain Split to give it some recovery. Ally Switch, Helping Hand, different stuff like that. It can do something like Bulldoze to do a weakness policy on Rhyperior or Tyranitar. Very powerful. Tyranitar Extra Drill is just one of those key weather cores that you see. And Morpeko has support options. It's kind of like Pikachu that doesn't get Lightning Rod, but it has better stats than Pikachu. So you kind of like lose the ability, but you get like a little more power. So I just think that there's so much that this team can do. Still a lot of power here. So I definitely think they are S. I like Slateport because again, I think that their electric core there is very powerful. I would like them to have different G-Max picks. I hope that their G-Max picks don't kind of hold them back. Like if I were to do a switch, I would switch out Gastrodon for either like a Riolu or a Liepard to get Frank's or Copycat on the team, because then you can do G-Max Hatterene with Trick Room and use Max Guard and Copycat your Max Guard, which then turns into Trick Room. So you're basically getting a free Trick Room without your Hatterene being attacked.
Didn't that never work for you?
It works sometimes. Listen,
Pretty sure that was your plan and it didn't work once.
that plan works a lot better than just trying to set up Trick Room. But if people know it, they can plan around it, but it's harder to plan around it. All right. Again, I need to break up these A's here.
If I drop below A, I'm exiting the Zoom meeting. Just letting-
No longer friends.
I'm not going to drop Gardner. I like their kind of cores. They got Sun. They got this Hatterene and Didi cores, very powerful.
Do you think there's anybody that stands out in the A amongst the A that should be moved up?
No, that should be moved up now.
Okay.
Oh.
Not saying my own team. I'm just saying if you can't.
I already moved
down.
up Worcester. They were the one.
Ryan just doesn't like Wigglytuff.
Can you create a new tier called Dream and then put my team there?
Dream, the Dream tier.
Team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you to drop me, so your expectations of me are lower, so that when I perform well, you'll be surprised.
How about this? I won't be mean.
How you know?
That way, no one on this podcast feels better than anybody else. So this is where.
Well, technically, you put him in the first spot, and I'm in the second.
Okay, yeah,
spot, so...
no, you're right. You're right. this guy's first. Okay, so this is how I kind of see it, but you know, I say prove me wrong, and of course, I want the minors to be a learning experience. So I hope we can have good conversation and good discourse. People learning about different Pokemon, different strategies. That's kind of like what the groups were supposed to be. So everyone has like, oh, well, I can do a weather strategy. I can do a trick room strategy. You know, like that's kind of like why they were set up like that. So you were kind of forced to have different strategies you might be able to do. So
I like the way that you set it up. I think it's really good. Like before Sword, I played Pokemon Blue. I haven't played anything since that. So like I've played a little bit of Sword now, but like I'm, you know, still fairly new to it. Like especially playing competitively. So this, you know, you've sort of set it up really well so that we sort of have to come up with certain strats and stuff like that rather than just free pick from all the different tiers.
Yeah.
And then try to come up with something.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to kind of start. You know, just for those who are kind of learning the competitive battling. But before we close out the podcast, guys, we're going to just take a quick look at the schedule. So it's nothing too fancy. Everybody's going to play against everybody. So there's 7 weeks for you guys. And, you know, so we'll just kind of look at your schedule, Justin. So you're going to play against Joe in week 1. And then you get to play against Chris in week 2.
Cool.
Florida, Gardner, Slateport, Slowkings, and the Wobbuffets. And Chris, you get the Slowkings in week 1. Then you get to play against Justin. And you got Daytona, Worcester, Florida, Gardner, and Slateport. So it's a little different because obviously there's only 8 teams, so you guys get to all play against each other. But I think that's really going to allow you guys to see everybody's different strategies and really kind of, you know, see how everybody grows and how they do against each other, as compared to the majors where you only get to play against like half the teams in the whole majors. Yeah, so with that, anything you guys want to talk about before we close it out?
I don't think so.
Justin, you gonna be doing any streaming for the? Are you gonna like stream your battles or?
So I tried, because I've only got a Switch Lite. I tried setting up with the capture card, and it didn't work. I thought I could figure a way around it, but it hasn't worked. So
yeah.
May just have to bite the bullet eventually and try and find a regular Switch to buy, but that'll be maybe a little bit down the track. I'll see how I go.
It's weird that there's like no adapter or anything, but I mean it's because there's no.
I got this, which is a USB-C to HDMI, USB-C and USB. But when I tried to plug it into my capture card and Streamlabs, it didn't work. So
yeah, well, because I think that there's just the Switch Lite has no output functionality at all. So like you're probably plugging into what would be like the charger or something.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no actual output. It's not like with our phones or something where the charger is also where you can, you know, connect to computers and do stuff with it, you know.
Yeah.
The Switch Lite, there's just no output functionality. But you figure like even with like the DS's and Game Boys and stuff, you used to be able to like hook it up to like do stuff with it. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't put some sort of functionality in there. But I don't know.
It is what it is.
Yeah, that's Nintendo. What are you gonna do, Chris? What about you, Mister 100? You hit like 100 2 days ago. Now you're up to like 120 something.
Yeah.
Like what the heck? Throw some of those my way. I'm trying to pull up your.
You're at.
What are
you're
you
at
on now? Are you 2-3?
He's at 203 now. Yeah.
Yeah. 205.
119. Yeah, that's awesome though. That's great, Chris. That they going shooting for the moon. Chris is the only Pokemon Go YouTuber I watch.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
should all watch him too. Katie, what about you? Anything you want to say to the people?
No, I'm excited to see how the minors league goes. So I think this was an awesome idea and like really good learning opportunity for everybody. So I tried to join minors, but Ryan told me no.
You do too well during the regular season. You lose in the playoffs, but
I lose in the playoffs.
Oh.
Anyway.
What happened last season, Ryan? I can't quite remember what happened.
I mean, I got farther than her. That's what matters. That's what matters in this household. This goddamn household. Anyway, so for this week, the majors games are going to be starting. So we'll actually have some games coming up for the majors. And then the week after that will be when the minors will start. So everybody can get their teams together over the next week or so. So definitely excited to start seeing some live battles again. Yeah, definitely check those out. And I want to throw this out to you guys. So the top 4 like finishers of the minors, right? They're going to get the opportunity to join the majors, and the bottom 4 people in the majors are going to, kind of get flip-flopped. But what do you guys think about they have to beat the people from the majors to get into the majors?
Ooh. Like the bottom 4?
Yeah, like Justin, let's say you're in the top 4, right, for the minors. So you get the opportunity, you can go up, and let's just say, I'm in the bottom 4. We'll be like, okay, if you got first place, Justin, you get first pick. You get to challenge any of the bottom 4 from the majors. So you can pick, and you're like, okay, I want to challenge Ryan. And we'll do it like a set team. Like we'll create like a team so both people use the exact same team, and just if you beat the majors person, you replace them.
I like that. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a fun one. What's that, Kate?
I think it's fair too. That kind of guarantees that the people with the right skill sets are in the right tier.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Chris?
Well, I like the idea of it. However, I just think it might be like if you did the winner did 2 battles against different coaches from the majors, like the pick 2 from the bottom 4 or whatever, to kind of like
give it like, so if you lose, you get a second chance kind of thing? Or what do you mean?
Well, I feel like 2 wins would put you into majors.
Oh, so you want to make it even harder?
Almost like a best 2 out of 3.
Oh my goodness.
But maybe I have no room to talk on that.
That's grueling. I don't know. Okay, well we'll think about it when we get to there. We'll figure something out fun. But geez, you want them to have to beat 2 people? That's harsh.
They want to be majors.
Yeah, but the people in the bottom 4, they might have to be sent down. I don't know. All right, well we'll figure that out. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you check out Chris Elanius, and who was once PokeCard collector Juggernaut. Down below, links will be down below. Can't wait to catch some live battles. And as always, stay classy, society.